Minister, I think we all can agree that there's no one solution to fix the housing shortage in this country. Everybody knows that. We need a multifaceted approach and we need to think outside the box. I believe that modular builds are part of the solution, and particularly from the point of view of shorter-term solution and in some cases longer-term solution. Particularly from the point of view that they can be delivered more quickly than concrete-built houses. About 18 weeks to build a unit, I understand, and they are substantially cheaper to deliver. And I think that as we stand in terms of government policy on housing and planning, that we are behind the curve compared to our near neighbour, the United Kingdom, and also the United States, where modular builds form a significant part of the housing offering, and modular builds to the highest standards. And I say this with particular knowledge of a company operating in my own county, Mayo, called the Big Red Barn. They are a company that's going from strength to strength, manufacturing modular built houses, and they're about to announce an increase in their Swinford factory, doubling their workforce to 65 and an expansion of the building. And they're inundated with demand for their product, a modular built housing and commercial premises. But Minister, their market is predominantly in exports to the United Kingdom and the United States, where they're having great success and obviously going from strength to strength. And yet, when people inquire here about having a modular built home, they find they're running into issues as regards government policy, which is really geared up towards bricks and mortar and not modular builds. So, for example, and I noted it myself when I was canvassing during the local elections with various candidates, you go out into the country and you have substandard housing where you could have an elderly person or you could have a family where there's overcrowding and they need additional accommodation. And the provision of a modular unit to the highest standards, I might add, in terms of energy efficiency, fire safety, would be a solution, and a very quick solution for these people. But when dealing with the local authority, it seems what is obvious and makes common sense in other countries is not acceptable here. So just to say, Minister, that that's one-off builds out the country. I believe it could also be applied in certain circumstances in town. There is a proposal that was sent by the same company to Dublin City Council for a pilot project in relation to delivery of social housing, and it was presented to Brendan Kenny in Dublin City Council. And I think, Minister, that at the moment there are no regulations in relation to these accessory dwelling units, no adequate regulations that would incentivise them, not just provide for them, but also allow younger couples who find they can't secure a loan for a house in bricks and mortar, but can get a very satisfactory house as a modular build, don't know if they can get planning permission, unsure about building regulations, and it seems there's a massive gap there that we need to move to fill. And I would ask that government policy respond, and I would particularly like to see the pilot project brought forward, Minister, as part of the housing solution and as an alternative to family hubs. I think we've got sites there and we need some action on this issue. Thank
Minister.
you.
Thanks, Michelle. Again, I want to thank Senator Michelle Mulherin for raising this important issue and for giving me an opportunity to clarify the regulations in this area as well, and the importance of having modular homes and the use of off-site construction as well, which is something we're very pro in our department. I would like to very much encourage as many local authorities as possible to use the option of off-site construction, modular homes, factory built, call it what you like, but there's certainly a lot of opportunity here, which is very commonly used in other countries as well. So again, I want to thank Senator for raising this important issue. Modular housing, rapid build, off-site construction are all terms used to describe modern methods of construction. They are recognised as having an important role to play in terms of speed delivery, alleviating skills constraints and also increasing productivity. This support is reflected in the development of a number of procurement frameworks of design-build contractors using off-site construction for social housing delivery. Under my department's Social Housing Capital Programme, over 400 homes have been delivered under the Rapid Delivery Programme to the end of 2018, and over 200 more will be delivered across 10 projects this year, with more to follow from next year onwards. In fact, I was on 3 sites in the last couple of weeks that are developing under the Rapid Build framework as well. To support rapid delivery housing, the Office of Government Procurement, the OGP, put in place a framework of rapid delivery contractors in 2017, which is available to all local authorities and approved housing bodies. My department has organised information seminars as well as visits to rapid delivery projects under construction in order to support the rollout of the programme. And again, just to clarify, local authorities don't have to use that framework. They can engage with other providers of off-site construction as well. We are trying to encourage them, and again, these workshops, we sit down with the people in housing and planning to try to encourage them to look at this sector as an opportunity to build houses as well. So we're very much open to that. It's not a case of we shut out modular homes at all. Many of the issues around delivery that standard social housing construction projects face are also faced by rapid build projects, such as preparing sites, services, access to the site, community consultation, planning, etc. There are, however, savings in terms of design and construction, and these advantages are growing as more use is made of the OGP framework. And again, we have tried to intervene with the planning timelines, and we have cut down the length of time it's taken to get a project from a greenfield site to a building stage. It used in the past maybe take 3, 4 or 5 years. That's cut down now to about 59 weeks is the target. In the majority of cases, in around 61 weeks. So we're getting to site a lot quicker, and absolutely, off-site construction then can deliver the house quicker at that stage as well. I know often 8 weeks is quoted. That doesn't include all the time to get the site ready and the planning and so on. But certainly, once the contract is up and running, I've been in the factories, I've seen this. A house can be built quite quickly going through that system as well. In addition to that framework, Dublin City Council, DCC, is developing a volumetric rapid delivery programme of apartment developments. A procurement framework of design-build contractors for the delivery of these units will be in place by the end of next month, and again it will be available to all local authorities and approved housing bodies to use. It is envisaged that over 1,000 fast-track homes will be built using this framework, the majority of which will be in Dublin, but there will also likely be schemes in other cities and towns as well. A related development which is important to bear in mind is the Energy Performance of Buildings Directive, which sets ambitious goals for energy efficiency and renewables in buildings by requiring nearly zero energy buildings performance for new buildings from the 31st of December 2020. The NZ process aligns closely with off-site construction, with scope for more robust quality assurance process to be developed in factory environments. Greater consistency can be achieved in the construction of individual elements, and indoor fabrication is not affected by weather. Off-site manufacturing also has many benefits in reducing construction waste and environmental impacts of construction. In relation to building standards, as well as the off-site construction providing many benefits in terms of delivery and affordability, we will also ensure that it continues to provide sustainable and durable housing. All new dwellings must comply with the building regulations, building control requirements, and achieve a 60-year durability for all key elements. They should be built with quality materials which are fit for the use for which they are intended and for the conditions in which they are to be used. And very often the conditions that have to be met in Ireland are different to other countries, but we do have regulations there. I want to stress that I've met numerous producers of all different types of housing with my officials, both in meetings in the department, meetings here in the Dáil, and at many of the conferences as well. And if it's a company that you have in mind, I'm familiar with the one you mentioned. I was in their buildings at the Ploughing Championship, and I think Owen Murphy was in them as well. So we'll be happy to engage with them around the Irish regulations. But I want to be very, very clear here. We have strict regulations for housing in Ireland because we really want to have a high quality social housing provision as well as private housing. You are very familiar with difficulty of poor quality housing in Mayo when it comes to mica and pyrite. Part of my job is dealing with houses that were built poorly over the years, and we can't go back to that. So we have regulations there which are there for good reason. But many of these providers, when they engage with us, we find ways to explain to them where they might fail in relation to a certain regulation and what they need to do to go and work on that as well. So we're happy to engage to do that too. The performance requirements of buildings and works are set out in the second schedule to the building regulations. They are written in broad terms and do not refer to materials or methodologies. While certain materials, methods of construction, standards and other specifications, including technical specifications, are referred to in the technical guidance documents that accompany the regulations, the adoption of approaches other than those outlined in the guidance is not precluded, provided that the relevant requirements of the regulations are complied with. So we're not for or against any method of construction once it meets the regulations and gives people a quality home that will stand the test of time, but also the conditions that we have in this country as well. Where works involve products, materials or techniques or equipment for which published national standards do not yet exist, third-party certification can demonstrate compliance with the Irish building regulations and durability requirements. Such certification may include, in part or in total, a European technical assessment or agreement certificate or equivalent. This is key to ensuring minimum quality and durability standards are met and providing confidence to investors, to construction industry professionals, to builders and, importantly, the consumer especially in the context of the building defects and building system failures that have arisen in the past, as well as local authorities. Local authorities rely on these starts to give them the guarantee that it's a quality product that will provide a proper home for people who want to live in that as well. Finally, in conclusion, my department will continue to work with local authorities, the construction industry and all other stakeholders to support the rollout of modern massive construction in a manner that delivers high-quality homes efficiently and at good price to the taxpayer and to the consumer as well.
Mulherin, briefly.
Thanks. Minister, I think the issue, I would totally agree around standards, and we know that sometimes the lack of standards, especially even in the private sector, comes back to bite the government, because people, the person who buys a house or has it built loses out. But I do think that there are issues, and they have been explained to me, say for example in my own local authority, whereby notwithstanding the modular bill not being precluded, that there seems to be lack of clarity around what is allowed. And you didn't specifically address the issue of accessory dwellings, which could see an independent unit but built on an existing site as a shorter term solution. I mean, we're talking about 10,000 people who are homeless. You know, the numbers you have mentioned in terms of the rapid delivery programme are small and modest in that context. And I suppose specifically on the accessory dwelling units, both in the country areas and in a town where there's a site big enough within, you know, proper rules and health and safety observed, can you envision that there would be more development of you know, incentivisation by government to the delivery of these type of units, which provide short to medium term housing, which we so badly need?
Thank you. Very briefly, Minister.
Again, I can't be any clearer, and there's no confusion with the regulations. If a construction method meets our regulations, it can be sanctioned, it can be granted in planning permission as well. But we're very strict on that, because we've seen too many homes built at a poor quality. Yes, we need urgent supply of housing, but that doesn't mean we're reneging quality. And if there's any company producing houses, they're more than welcome to come into my office with officials, and we'll talk through their product, what they do and what they have to do to meet the standards as well, because we're very open book on that. We're also very clear on it. There is no confusion there what the regulations are. I want to be very clear on that too. And we have tried, and you mentioned Dublin City Council as well, doing a project in relation to family hubs around that too. So we are open to all these things once the housing passes a certain standard of quality as well. And again, I wanted to say, Senator Éireann, you mentioned that there's 10,000 people homeless. There are about 1,700 families who don't have a home today. Our social housing construction programme this year will deliver 10,000 new homes. That's 10,000 families. I can put my hand over my heart and tell you that over 5,000 adults and all their children will leave a homeless situation this year and move into a home as well, because the supply of housing is finally coming on stream. And there's taxpayers' money set aside this year to deliver 10,000 new homes.
Thank you. And
there will be more than 10,000 next year and the year after. So we want to continue that supply of housing. And that's how we will provide homes. But we're very open to all solutions. And if any company wants to come in and meet me, happy to do that.
Thank you.